Warm welcome. You are watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Just about 20 minutes ago, an ordinance on love jihad has been cleared by the Uttar Pradesh government. That's the news that we're breaking right now. An ordinance has been cleared by the Uttar Pradesh government. The UP cabinet has cleared it. This will soon now be a law. There is now a law where love jihad is concerned for the state of Uttar Pradesh. If prosecuted, one could go in jail from 5 to 10 years. This, viewers, and that's the operative part, this is a non-bailable law. Now, the Uttar Pradesh Law Commission submitted a draft for the proposed law in November 2019, and it was brought up today by the cabinet, and an ordinance has been given the stamp of approval. However, the only difference is, though it is a law on love jihad, it will not be called a love jihad law. This ordinance has been named the Vidhi Virudh Dharmantaran-2020.
आज योगी जी की कैबिनेट ने एक बड़ा फैसला लिया है और इसको उत्तर प्रदेश विधि विरुद्ध धर्म संपरिवर्तन प्रतिषेध अध्यादेश 2020 के नाम से कहा जाएगा और आने वाले समय में इससे जिस प्रकार की कानून व्यवस्था में लोग इसमें समस्याएं आ रही थी, वो सब समस्याएं इससे दूर होंगी और निष्पक्ष होकर इसमें पारदर्शिता के साथ इसके अंदर अब कार्य होएगा.
All right. In midst of all of this, now the UP government has passed an ordinance. 4 other BJP states are soon going to pass a law, namely Karnataka, Assam, Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. They're all looking at passing a law on love jihad at a time where we were still now, there is really no clear definition legally of what love jihad is, leading to a massive raging social, political and cultural debate. Do we really need this law and why? Love jihad, a political bogey to communalize interfaith marriages, or India's new religious reality? It's a debate on which the jury is still out. However, by the end of 24th November, Tuesday, the government of Uttar Pradesh would have criminalized a term which till now has no real definition, but has loosely been defined as cases of Muslim men inducing Hindu girls for marriage and conversion of their religion. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, chaired a cabinet meet in Lucknow on Tuesday evening. The state government passed the ordinance on the love jihad law. This ordinance has been named Vidhi Virudh Dharmantaran-2020. Love jihad under the purview of this ordinance will be considered as an illegal conversion, and there is a provision for 5 to 10 years if convicted in such cases. This would be a non-bailable offence. The Uttar Pradesh Law Commission submitted a draft for the proposed law in November 2019. It was under the consideration of the Home and Law Ministry over the last year. The BJP government last week consent to the draft of the new law. After Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Assam, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh will be the other 5 BJP-run states to look at framing stringent laws against a term that till now has no legal definition. However, in an important judgment which contradicts the Yogi government's desire to criminalize interfaith marriages involving conversions, the Allahabad High Court has denounced a previous single-judge bench decision that religious conversions only for the sake of marriage are unacceptable, saying that decision was bad in law. When asked on the floor of the parliament, the centre in February this year denied any clear definition of the term. Giving legal sanctity to prosecute and forming laws that are non-bailable with 5-year imprisonment has sparked a huge social, cultural and political debate. TMC MP Nusrat Jahan herself, in an interfaith marriage, criticized the phrase.
Love is very personal. और जिहाद और लव जो है ना, ये साथ में जाता नहीं है. You know, just before elections, people come up with certain topics like this. ऐसे देखना इलेक्शन के पहले ये सब होता है. प्यार और जिहाद का ये कोई कॉम्बिनेशन ही नहीं हुआ. Love is extremely personal.
Politically, the BJP is isolated with its own ally in Bihar, with the BJP in the state in favor of forming a law, but the JDU against it. The Shiv Sena also criticized the priorities of the government.
अगर कोई कानून बना रहा है तो कानून बनने दो, लेकिन सबसे अच्छा कानून बनने जा रहा है बिहार में नीतीश कुमार जी. तो बीजेपी और नीतीश कुमार जी जो बिहार में कानून बनाने जा रहे हैं उसका अध्ययन करेंगे. और नीतीश कुमार एक ऐसे नेता है इस देश के जो बहुत ही संयमी है, बहुत ही शांत मन से काम करने वाले हैं. तो उनका जो कानून बनेगा बिहार में, बिहार सरकार का या बीजेपी सरकार का, उस कानून का हम अध्ययन करेंगे.
While BJP-run states now demand one nation, one law against love jihad, the debate rages on. Bureau Report, India Today. So which one is it? Is this a bogey floated for political gain to communalize interfaith marriages? Or is this the reality of New India and we pretty much need this law, even though there are laws which exist under the Special Marriage Act? Let's take this debate further. Ghanshyam Tiwari, Samajwadi Party spokesperson, joins us. The Uttar Pradesh government, Mr. Tiwari, just about 20 minutes ago has cleared the ordinance on love jihad. Tehseen Poonawala, advocate who himself is in an interfaith marriage, joins us. In a short while from now, I'm going to be joined by Naveen Chomal, who is an advocate who believes that this law is the call of the day. This is the reality of New India. Tehseen, I'd like to begin with you. For somebody who's faced quite a barrage of questions on social media on your own interfaith marriage, how do you see this? Because now there is, at least in the state of Uttar Pradesh, an ordinance against love jihad. Of course, it's called something else entirely. What's your take?
I find New India to be a strange place where the BJP supporters and BJP ministers believe, and I see this with a lot of humility, that women are cows and they can simply be converted by luring them, by fooling them, and women absolutely have no sense or idea. For example, I was dating my now wife, then girlfriend. Did my girlfriend then, and now my wife, not check my social media? We had common friends. My passport, my Aadhaar. In a special marriage act, you have to give your Aadhaar, your passport. So you can't really forge these documents, and Tehseen can't really be somebody else. It's not possible. This happens in a court of law. So you can't really give forged documents in a court of law unless Modi ji is accepting that passports can be forged. So I find all of this ridiculous. And why is this happening, Preeti? For two reasons. One, the RSS as an organization is anti-women. It's a chauvinistic organization. But B, also because Mr. Narendra Modi wants to hide from his catastrophe, his economic catastrophe that he's led us into. And therefore, post-2014, India has gone back into reverse gear. India is now more and more looking like a Hindu Iran, and Modi ji is more and more looking like the Ayatollah. It's quite funny. Just one small change. Preeti, you're right that all the things that they allege against, all those provisions in law already exist. Cheating in a marriage, forceful conversion, deceit, murder. So I don't know why this new law simply needs to be there, and what are the special provisions in this law.
All right, stay on with me. We're going to be joined by Naveen Chomal, an advocate, very soon. I want to cut across to Ghanshyam Tiwari as well, Samajwadi spokesperson. Mr. Tiwari, your state right now is the first state to criminalize, outlaw love jihad. Now, the question is what they are saying, and what most people who advocate this law is, what's wrong with it? In the 80s, you had a law which was against dowry, which came up, which had similar provisions, actually, if you look at it, than what this law is panned as. And that protected women at that point of time, and this law is there to protect women who get exploited.
Preeti, this government, starting 2014, the rise of BJP, and 2017, Uttar Pradesh, this government presented itself as the architect for modern India. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Achhe Din. They have become on global map the villains of modern India. to put a bogey that is not defined in any court. No, there's not a single court that defines love jihad. The Allahabad High Court has distanced itself from the propaganda that this government has built on top of the Allahabad High Court's observation. There's a newspaper in my hand that says that SIT probe in Uttar Pradesh into love jihad rules out conspiracy angle. This is a bogey. And this bogey has been created to ensure that India moves to medieval age. We lose our scientific temper. We fight as Hindus and Muslims, and we forget the agenda of peace, prosperity, and opportunity for everyone in this country. People like Adityanath, people like Narendra Modi has no stake in this modern generation of India, which is trying to educate itself, get a scientific temper, find jobs for themselves, and have an independent choice of who they want to marry, how they want to spend their life. These people have no stake in this India. The stake, the India that they want to have a stake in is an India that could be misled by hate, the India that will be misled by rumor mongering, fake news, and propaganda. And that is exactly what they have done. They have created a massive organization fueled on WhatsApp and Facebook that generates and circulates this propaganda. They reach out to that India that loves this propaganda, and they are presenting this agenda to that India. To every one of India Today's viewer who's watching this, this one act is an act against your son or daughter. If you want your son or daughter to have an independent mind, a scientific temper, an idea of a peaceful and prosperous India.
Okay.
This is a single act. These are villains of modern India, and this act is against your son.
All right, stay with
daughter.
me. You know, there is, okay, the fact is whether, you know, a Tehseen Pulawala or the Samajwadi Party agrees or not, there is a large chunk of people today who are completely for this particular law. That is the reason why after the state of Uttar Pradesh, there'll be at least 4 more BJP-run states that are going to formulate a law like that. I want to bring in Mr. Naveen Chomal, who's joining us. Mr. Chomal, you know, there are 2 questions that are being raised. Number one, why is the need of this law when the Special Marriage Act already pretty much covers every purview of an interfaith marriage, which could lead to exploitation? Number 2, on the basis of this ordinance, which was cleared today in Uttar Pradesh, and we're just talking about legal terms, the Chief Minister had quoted a specific ruling of the court saying this is the reason why you need this law. Now the High Court, Allahabad High Court, has come out and said that that ruling was wrong, which was bad in law, pretty much destroying the premise of this very, you know, this very ordinance that was cleared today by the cabinet.
Preeti ji, the issue of love jihad is not crossing the minds of the legal experts in the recent years, but it has been going on for a long time. And one of the landmark was an order by Justice R. Basant, as it was in the Kerala High Court in Cochin. And he was alarmed by the process of love jihad, how Hindu girls are trapped. When a Muslim boy befriends a Hindu girl, that boy is not alone. Behind that boy, there is a big gang who's helping him, giving him all the financial backup, all the idea. There is a think tank how to trap Hindu girls. There is a big conspiracy against the entire nation, the Hindu community. And Justice R. Basant had directed the Intelligence Bureau to investigate the matter. Unfortunately, they scuttled because Congress was in power that time. So, love jihad is a very serious thing. And now coming to the certain questions being raised by my co-panelists, jihad is not defined. He did not worry about it. When the law will come, they will define what exactly love jihad is. So they are not against a marriage between a Muslim and a Hindu girl. That is not the concept. But if they find behind the boy, there is a conspiracy, there is a gang working on it, then it will be coming under the purview of jihad. So we are not going to disturb the fabric of the nation or the harmony within the nation. And the scientific temperament he is trying to canvass, that is already there. We are marching ahead as to other countries. So just because we are trying to curtail a gang of criminals against a particular community, that is going to stop our ISRO or DRDO. So they are not going to stop our IITs. So don't try to teach us that because of this particular law, we will be losing our scientific thing. And now he's trying to say that Modi ji and Yogi ji don't have any touch with the nation, or they don't have any stake with the nation. I think the viewers will be laughing at that particular gentleman when he said all these things.
Okay, Mr. Okay.
Please appreciate they have been elected by the nation.
Fair enough.
They know what has to be done in the national interest.
All right,
So
Mr. Chomal, before I go back to Mr. Poonawala, Mr. Chomal,
Yes.
you know, Before I go back to Mr. Poonawalla, I want to ask you one question. In small towns right now, provision of this law is also that if a girl who's of legal age, who's entering the marriage of her own volition, wants to convert her religion, whether it suits a Hindu person fine or not, she's doing it of her own volition. Now, whether she wants to do it, she actually has to tell the district magistrate a month in advance that she's looking to convert to get married to an ex-person. In small towns, sir, you and I both know and that, it's a paper which is put up on the district magistrate's board. If the name of this girl and that boy is put up on a board saying in a month the girl will convert, are you telling me that the entire right-wing lobby in that particular small town, the VHP, is not going to get behind the family? There will be no harassment?
Preeti ji, please appreciate that provision is already there in the Marriage Act for a long time. But you ask yourself the question, how many times have you gone and seen in the register of the district magistrate whose name is there printed outside of the particular put out there? Nobody goes and bothers to read all this thing.
Okay.
So that particular provision is useless provision. So there is no use of that particular provision. Not this law is basically trying to put some checks is to ensure that the people who are in the process of administration, they will be given proper briefing guidelines, what have to be followed. And if they find that this is a very clear marriage between two persons, they don't have any objection.
All right, Tessin, you wanted to come in. Mr. Chomal is saying this will streamline the process of an interfaith marriage. Till now, it was possible.
Definitely.
There was room for exploitation.
Yes.
Tessin.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, let him come in. Let Mr. Poonawalla come. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Poonawalla.
The element of exploitation will be...
Okay, yes, we've got it, sir. Mr. Poonawalla, go ahead.
The problem, Preeti, is when people do man ki baat, they forget to do kaam ki baat. Man ki baat is hollow and long. So let me be short, brief, and do kaam ki baat.
Stop all this
Can we please go one by one, sir? He's accorded you the privilege of putting your argument forward. Please respect the same. Go ahead, Mr. Poonawalla.
Thank you. Thank you, Preeti. Preeti, neither did Mr. Tiwari, neither did I, neither did you as an anchor bring religion into this. We spoke about the law in general, and we said yes, there's religious polarization. But my worthy panelist specifically brought in Muslim men, Hindu women. Now, Preeti, I don't want to be personal, but I am offended because my wife is a Hindu girl, a Hindu woman. To think that a Hindu woman or any woman, I request you.
Can we just go one by one? Can I just get Mr. Poonawalla make your point, Mr. Poonawalla? We'll just get to it. Yes. Can I just get Mr. Poonawalla, please? Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Poonawalla, make your point.
Thank you. I'm offended that the worthy panelist thinks that women, whether Hindu or Muslim, can be conned, an organization can work beyond them and trap women. Are these women cows? Are they goats? What do you mean by trap women? My wife's a Hindu woman. You're a Hindu woman. What is trap women? Like, can you even have a logical, scientific debate on India Today, which is the #1 channel in this country, and the most watched channel, which is the gold standard of journalism? Trap women means, is there some shadyantra being made and women are trapped? And is there a formula to trap women? Please tell us the formula. What rubbish are you talking on TV? Secondly, Preeti, and I want to end my arguments here. Look, at the end of the day, what is this about? This is about denying women their fundamental right to choices. Now, I believe sir is a lawyer. Suppose if a gay man was to con a woman under family pressure and marry a woman, and of course he doesn't have heterosexual relationships with her because he's a gay man, will love jihad apply? Because that's also cheating a woman. That's also spoiling, according to them, the life of the woman. So this is ridiculous, rubbish, communalizing with no data, because the Honorable NIA, he's lying on your show, the NIA and Honorable Supreme Court said there is nothing called love jihad. It was investigated after the Kerala case, and the Home Minister, as you rightly quoted, Krishna Reddy, said that we cannot define love jihad on Parliament. Forget millions of cases. I tell him, let him name 33 cases here. 33 cases with evidence that has been proved. Let him name.
All right. Okay, I want to just take two closing comments. I want to go to Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari there. Mr. Tiwari, as is the opposition also in the state of Uttar Pradesh, there's an ordinance that has been given the stamp of approval today. Legally, is the Samajwadi Party going to pursue it?
We will pursue it at all levels, in the people court and in the media and beyond, to ensure that the villains of modern India do not succeed. The world of 21st century belongs to information, technology, knowledge, scientific temper, liberal individual freedoms. And what BJP is doing is pushing India into medieval age with people like Adityanath who have no accountability, no personal experience of administration, no data on which they are proposing these laws, except one single mission: create more and more hate, appeal to the most uninformed people so that they become your hate armies and become the vigilantes. In Ghaziabad, Mr. Chomal was talking about, in Ghaziabad, in a court, a girl and a boy goes to marry. This was an interfaith marriage. The boy is dragged from the court and beaten black and blue. You can look at the newspapers in Uttar Pradesh, and every month you'll find one such story. So for him to say, because his children are not involved, okay, he is happy as long as other children are being beaten up, looked at suspicion, and their independence is destroyed. In modern India, you are telling me that a girl has to be seen as a property, and this love jihad law will decide how she's going to marry. And
okay, Mr. Ghanshyam, I want to take Mr. Ghanshyam, I want to take a quick comment by Mr. Chomal. Mr. Chomal, you know, there's a lot of traction right now that we're seeing online, and there's a question that is being raised, and I want to ask you that question. What if, you know, as somebody who advocates the law against love jihad, is it workable if that's let's say it's a Hindu boy and a Muslim girl, and it's the other way around, and the Hindu boy changes his identity to being a Muslim boy in terms of conversion? Does that work? Will that still be love jihad?
It will not be love jihad so long as it does it on his own volition. But if it's, allured or pressurized, then it will be a love jihad.
All right. So even if a Hindu boy changes his name, and it will be. So love jihad is going to be. So you're saying, sir, love jihad will be religion neutral.
Yes. Basically, the law doesn't want to interfere in the personal choice of the citizens. They have their personal rights. It is the exploitation element that has to be eradicated. So let me reply to both the people, Ghanshyam Tiwari as well as Poonawala. Tiwari said that you find certain cases when a Muslim boy is being out and beaten. Okay. But what is the proportion of those cases as compared to thousands of Hindu girls being allured and trapped?
Okay.
It is a negligible proportion. So don't make an issue out of it.
Okay, I need to close this show because this debate can go on. I'm really sorry. I need to close it. We've totally run out of time. But I would reckon in times to come, especially in weeks to come right now, one state has done it. 4 states are going to follow suit. This will be a debate that will be ripe for conversation in days to come, which we're going to continue to put the spotlight on. Appreciate you all for joining us. Thank you. Up next is my colleague Shivarur.